Welcome to the Parenting Roundabout podcast. I'm Terry Morrow.
And I'm Catherine Haleko.
Every Thursday, we're bringing you a library find, a pick from our archives, and a parenting or pop culture tidbit or two. Let's start with Catherine's Library Find of the Week.
So, as you know, some of the library finds are just things that insistently present themselves in front of my face, and I'm like, what is this?
Yes.
And this time it is a movie called Sasquatch Sunset.
What?
And
Is this a Sasquatch romance?
It's supposed to be like the story of a family of Sasquatches. Reading to you from IMDb, a year in the life of a unique family. It captures the daily life of the Sasquatch with a level of detail and rigor that is simply unforgettable.
Oh my goodness.
So that is, promotional copy, yes. Right? But apparently then I read further on IMDb, there's no dialogue. It's just like grunting this whole movie. And like Jesse Eisenberg is in it and Riley Keough, but they are completely unrecognizable. They have just so much like makeup and hair affixed to them that it's so weird.
Oh my goodness.
And it's supposed to be a comedy. And, it was one of those things like, should I watch this? Like, it just keeps, apparently lots of people are, because it keeps coming.
How long ago was this made?
It's new. It came out in 2024. But as soon as I saw when it said there's no talking, I was like, okay, no, I'm out. There is no way.
Did they at least have subtitles so you knew what they were saying?
I don't think so. If you watch the trailer,
you need to find the Sasquatch track, and then weird.
It seems so weird to me. Wow. But when I tell you, it has come through so many times. It might even be a short loan, which means lots of people are putting it on hold.
How is this possible?
Exactly. How is this possible?
I mean, I never see movies, but I read about them. I follow social media about them. How have I not heard of this?
Yeah, that's how I felt about it.
It's just a library sensation.
I don't know.
The Library Video Awards come out. It'll do great.
Yeah. I mean, it does only have a 5.5 star rate out of 10 rating on IMDb.
Oh my goodness.
But so weird.
So weird.
Very weird.
Oh man. Things that you find in the library.
Here's some more. Yeah, here's some more text from IMDb. These shaggy and noble giants fight for survival as they find themselves on a collision course with the ever-changing world around them. But also it's a comedy. Just lots of jokes in there with
Except you can't understand what they are because they're just being told grunts.
Yeah, that's why I'm putting quote marks around the jokes. Yeah, I guess. Physical comedy, apparently. Something like that.
Yes. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
That sounds
Sasquatch Sunset.
Brain-wreckingly awful, so it'll probably gain a cult following.
Yes, that must be
I'd have
what
thought
is
those
already
particular
happening.
Actors would have had better things to do, but I guess, times is rough. You take what you can get.
Yeah, right?
Huh.
I don't know.
I mean, the fact that it exists is amazing, and the fact that it's a hot ticket at the library is more amazing still.
Right. And it said I watched the trailer, and that was more than enough. It said that it was in theaters at some point. So, yeah.
In Sasquatch only theaters, apparently.
You must go to the deep forest. Yeah. Maybe it's cheese and his his friend, his family that are watching it, because Cheese was it
Yes.
Cheese or was it
I believe it was Cheese.
but also wasn't it not Elora, Willie Jack's dad,
Maybe.
who was kind of seeing Sasquatch. I don't know.
Oh, that's right.
Anyway.
That's right. Yes. Yes, he did.
I've wandered over to Reservation
He
Dogs.
found them out in the woods watching Sasquatch on a DVD.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
wow.
Sasquatch Sunset.
Amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Look that up, y'all. And if you make it all the way through, tell us how it is.
Tell us how it goes, because I am
Catherine got
not
as far as
doing
the
it.
trailer.
Yeah, that's it.
We'll have to link. See if the trailer's on YouTube. We have to link to that.
It's on IMDb for sure.
Okay.
Yep.
Well, at least was anybody biting anybody else? It's maybe less traumatic than your pick last week. So it's just
Right.
incomprehensible comedy.
Yes. Yeah, I don't think they're violent, the Sasquatch. They just want to live their woodsy life.
Yep. Just try to grunt and let grunt, you know?
Yes.
Leave them alone. Well, I too have what's not a library find, but it's the Terry finally finished reading something on Audible of the every 2 years or so.
I'm surprised. I thought you did finish the stuff that you listened to.
Well, the problem is I listen to like 5,000 podcasts. And so
Right.
by the time I get through the podcasts, there's not that much time to listen to books. Also, I listen to the podcasts while I work because I have some work that doesn't require 100% of my attention. And so
Yeah.
it's good to have something playing that burns up the part of my brain that would be worrying and obsessing over things. But a book, you pretty much have to give the book your entire attention.
Yeah.
So I can multitask a little, but I can't multitask a lot. So that's why I think it takes me longer to get through the books. Also, audiobooks are oftentimes so bleeping long. You know, you sit down,
Yeah.
I'm going to read this, and it says 17 hours.
Right.
And, you know, that's an hour a day for 2.5 weeks. It's not that much, but you kind of go, oh, no, not starting that. So anyway, this book I just finished reading was called Hands of Time, A Watchmaker's History. It is by Rebecca Struthers. And the audiobook, I should find the name of the person who narrated it on the audiobook because she had a delightful British accent. And as you know, I am a sucker for this. So it's just like, well, if you're going to read it to me, could you read it to me that way? That'd be nice. Thank you. Title details. Let me see. Who read this thing? Because I know it was not the author. Oh, here we go. Narrated by Anna Plozajski. Pronounce that as you will.
Well,
But she was a delightful reader and had a very, very British accent. So basically what it is a history of watches. And, you know, how they were invented, how they were made, how advances came to them, what part they played in history. Really very interesting. Not so interesting that you have to put everything down and listen to it with 100% of your brain, but pretty interesting.
yeah.
Here's the publisher's beginning of the publisher's blurb. An award-winning watchmaker, one of the few practicing the art in the world today, chronicles the invention of time through the centuries-long story of one of mankind's most profound technological achievements, the watch. So I'm a sucker for nonfiction about the normal things in our lives. And I think you had read one about pockets, which I then also read, and it was very interesting. And
That was a library find. I didn't actually read it.
Yes. Oh, let me let this plane go by. So this is something that might go in a pocket or on a wrist or in a variety of other places. And so if you're interested in watches and enjoy listening to a British person read you nonfiction, I highly recommend Hands of Time. It would probably be just fine to read on the page as well, if you have that kind of eyeballs. I do not.
Right.
And it was, let's see how many hours it was. It was 8 hours and 7 minutes.
That's manageable.
That's manageable. Hour a day, you can get it done in a little over a week. Or 15 minutes a day, you can get it done in a long period of time. But if you have a watch, You can time yourself.
You can time yourself and know how long it took you.
She has not much nice to say about Apple Watches, by the way. So I think that, probably you don't want to use the timer on your phone. It would be disrespectful. Get yourself a stopwatch. Get yourself a wristwatch with a second hand. Come on.
Right.
So.
Don't be an animal. Don't be a Sasquatch.
Yes, did the Sasquatch... No, this is going to be hard to say. Did the Sasquatch have a wristwatch?
I don't believe so. I don't believe they have any clothing of any kind.
Well, then how do they know how to say, it's time for us to walk through our archives?
I don't know. They just have to, follow the rhythms of nature,
There you
I
go.
guess. So
It's right after the invisible monster moves through the jungle is when it's time.
Yeah, is when it's time. Well, we're going to travel back to 2017. We did a speed round called What Are You Obsessed About Right Now? Because for a long time, our podcast tagline was what parents are, what was it? Reading?
Talking about, complaining about, and obsessing about right now.
Obsessing about right now. So we wanted to highlight what we were obsessed about. And
what was I obsessed about then? Was that in my Hamilton phase?
No, you were obsessed with our podcast stats.
Yes. Our podcast stats.
It's been 7 years, and how has that changed?
Those were in the happy days when we had a large audience of bots before podcast statisticians learned how to wipe those. And so now it's not so fun looking at the stats. So that is something I have tried very hard to abandon. Just imagine. Just imagine they're out there. It's fine. Of course people are listening to us. Of course they are. But I have noticed lately that I have a habit of becoming super obsessed with something, living, breathing, and eating it for a while, and then completely abandoning it. It's a terrible habit. I both ends of that habit are bad. Because, for a while, as you know, Hamilton was like everything. I was reading everything. I was following Lynn on social media. I was listening to the soundtrack so often my family were saying, stop! And now it's like, I must never think of it. I saw it when I saw it on Disney, and then at some place the switch turned off. And
you were like, moving on.
It's just completely
doing something else.
For a while, I was super into the Bobby Bones show podcast and radio show, and all the people involved in it, super in, following them on social media, super into it. They ticked me off with something on the show. I said, that's it. Haven't listened to it since. Unfollowed them all on social media. What is wrong with me? Why do I get so crazy into something? And then just, it's like one way or the other. It's not just a mild level of enjoyment and interest.
Right.
This is not something
but it's
I
also,
like about myself. And every time I get interested in something I know, I go like, whoa, how long is this going to last?
But it's not like important things.
That is
you know
true.
what I mean? It's
that
like,
exactly
you're not
right.
Like, I was obsessed with these children and now forget it,
Out with you both. Yeah, no, it's not important things. And which makes me think, why did I ever get so obsessed with them in the first place? But it's I just latch on to something to relieve me of my boredom and anxiety and occupy myself. Right. And then when it ceases to do that, or when it adds to that in some way, I'm just like, okay, we're done.
Or when it just runs its course. I mean, that could be Hamilton.
Hamilton may have just run its course. I still have a couple of, I have one song from the soundtrack on a playlist of just stuff I like. So I listen to that periodically, but I've thought about taking it off. And I just said, what? Why?
You've threatened to take it off.
And it's Quiet Uptown is the only one I still listen to anymore, because that little forgiveness is so angelic. And I just love it. But, so I don't know. What am I obsessed about now? There must be something. There's always something.
All right, there's got to be something.
That's the way my brain works.
Mm-hmm.
but I don't know what it is. Some people might say it's putting up things on social media about the podcast, because there are quite a lot of them. And I am enjoying Substack. Yeah, y'all go look at my Substack.
Oh,
Too
yeah.
Old for Cool.
Yep.
And it's now as we talk, it has 4. Later today it will have 4 articles on it, and by the time you listen to it, there will be 5. Because I use this podcast as a deadline. But so it's fun reading notes and stuff on that, and getting. It can be real fun getting just completely immersed in social media, but then you think, what am I doing? I'm a grown-up. Stop this. I have like real life things. Why am I arguing with... I'm not arguing with strangers. I don't reply to things. I just argue with them in my head. And oftentimes in the shower, I yell at them some because they deserve it. And, but it's like, this is not a good use of my time. So I'm trying very hard not to be obsessed. So I don't know. Are you obsessed with anything right at the moment?
Well, by the time you listen to this, I predict I will be obsessed with watching the Olympics.
Oh, yeah.
Because that's happening. And, it'll be like, well, I really need to watch the, steeplechase semifinals or whatever it is that NBC decides to show us. And possibly, we think we have Peacock. We might have Peacock right now, which is where a lot of things are going to be. But I just, it's definitely one of those, like, I don't know if it's considered being a fair weather fan, because it doesn't happen in those other.
That's right.
But the thing is, those sports are going on. It's just that you cannot really follow them or watch them.
You can now more than you used to be able to, because it'll be on some cable network or some streaming network. They'll have the USA competitions and stuff like that. But I don't know. I have in the past gotten obsessed by the Olympics, and recently just haven't gotten into it as much. And I don't have any enthusiasm for watching it now at all. It just seems like a bad idea.
To have that many people in one place?
Yes. And and that many countries in one place. And France hasn't been a particular land of peace and tranquility lately. So, and you want to add this? So, God bless them. They've made it so that all the events are like in public places, so that lots of people can watch them. And so I'm assuming there's going to be security guards running along with the athletes. They've been training. All right, Joe, strap that rifle on your back. You're swimming in the Seine with the swimmers. Keep up.
Yes.
Watch the crowd while you're going, man. It'll be fun. So I wish them luck, and I hope that I will not hear anything but wonderful reports coming from it.
Right. And I hope that
kind of like,
is
it over yet? Oh, I hope it's over.
I hope between the time we've recorded this and the time anyone is listening to it, that something has not
Disclaimer,
changed.
We're recording this a week ahead of when it's dropping.
Right.
Forgive us. We'll go in and clip it and release it. We'll drop something else in this spot. It'll be fine.
Right. Well, I just remember, do you remember, what was it like being in Los Angeles when it was there?
You know what? It's funny because I was thinking of that. And
because it's going to be back there.
Yes. Everybody was so braced for it that it was a disaster for the local businesses. Everybody said, okay, the thing to do is to stay out of LA, stay out of downtown LA. Just let's stay where we are and never go anywhere and never go out or never do anything. And consequently, businesses took a huge hit. And I worked for a company that made giftware. And they got, I imagine they just put everything they had on the table to get the license for the Olympics, for their mugs and stuff like that. And nobody bought stuff. And they went under because of it. So it was like, well, good job on letting the Olympics take over the town, but could you have shown some interest in it? Because it wound up being, as I recall, at least in my limited view, kind of a disaster for businesses in the area. So I
Right.
wonder about that, about Paris as well, I would think. I mean, are people going
Right.
to, hey, let's go to that cafe. Sure, it's right where there's huge crowds watching events, but I'm sure we can get a table. It's just going to be, well, let's everybody stay out of downtown. I would think. Maybe not.
Yeah.
Maybe not. Maybe the French are a heartier type than Angelinos and just want to get in there and mix it up. But wow. I think I would want to stay away from crowds if I was just pretty much anyone, anywhere right now.
Yeah.
But I am a wimp, so.
I remember watching it for sure when it was in LA.
Yeah.
Like, I remember I had a babysitting job. So I was 14 and somebody hired me to take care of their 6-week-old baby,
gosh.
a very little baby, and they were moving or something, and so
wow.
they needed me to watch this baby, for 12 hours, and so I did. I just watched the Olympics all day with this tiny, tiny, tiny baby. I was like, I cannot believe they're putting me in charge of this infant.
Oh gosh.
But it was all fine. But yeah, that's what I remember the most about it. Me and this itsy bitsy baby.
Wow.
So.
Yeah. Well, I didn't go anywhere near it myself, so. Yeah, I wish them luck. I hope it's good. I hope it's worth being obsessed about, and that many wonderful moments occur.
Yes.
And for the Olympics and the Paralympics both. Yay.
Right.
And I'm looking for my next obsession, so keep an eye open for me. It's going to be something. I'm not going to be able to talk about anything else. Maybe Taylor Swift. Maybe Hardy. Walker Hayes was kind of an obsession for a while. I don't talk about him so much anymore. I got to look up his names. I'm fickle. I'm super fickle. And yet I've stayed with this podcast for a really long time. So parenting roundabout is my obsession. I need no more.
Right.
Thank you for listening. You can find all our episodes on Spreaker, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, or wherever you get your podcasts. You can find recaps, links, and an opportunity to comment on our website at parentingroundabout.com.
You can also talk to us on our Facebook page, on Instagram, or on Twitter, where you'll find us at Roundabout Chat. And please visit our Amazon shop at amazon.com/shop/mamatude, where you can find links to a lot of the things we've talked about over the years.